Hi Mary, thanks for posting your progress with the Vocalise. Before I begin, I just want to say that personally I haven't worked on this piece before, so I have a limited experience with it, but I'm hoping that I can still bring you some value and give you some pointers to help polish the piece and maybe take it to the next level. But yeah, I first learned about this piece years ago when I used to be a member of ViolinLAB, and if memory serves right, I think it was Maria who first introduced it to me. And back then, I remember being so taken by it and how I wanted to learn it in the future. So thank you so much for bringing it to my attention again. And I just want to express how much I'm enjoying it so far. So the version that I have in front of me right now is the one that I downloaded from IMSLP, and it's by Jack Chang. From what I can tell, it doesn't have the lower octave ending that you mentioned. So before setting up to record this video, I went ahead to look up Augustine's video where he was playing the piano accompaniment with the violin part, and I have to say that I really like his version. I think because it reminded me so much of Beth's lessons on meditation from Todd. I'm not sure if you've studied it before, but basically any time that you have to repeat melodic lines or sections, it's never played the same. So it's usually an opportunity to tell a different story. It may be the same notes, but with different intentions, and there's no better way to do that than playing on a different string, because just the quality of the G string is so beautiful. I think it's so hard to play there, but it's just absolutely warm and rich. The tones there is so luscious, and I think that if you have the time to explore measures 1 to 19, all of these notes can be played on the G string. Sometimes because of the limitation of the G string, there's only a few notes that you can play there. This piece in particular is such a great opportunity to really explore the same notes, but just on the lower octave. So let me try and play a little bit of the first a couple of measures, maybe just until the end, the trill section on the G string to show you. So I'm looking for the harmonic note on G string, and I'm going to place my third finger there. That's the other thing with this music that I have in front of me. It doesn't have the turn within the trill, so I actually really like the turn, so I'm adding it in. But yeah, it's such an amazing exercise for exploring different positions on the G string, so I highly recommend if you have the time to do it. So for polishing this piece, I think that you have this under your belt because your position changes, your bow changes. I think they look very solid. So I would suggest to look at moments in the music where you have to shift, because these are the most difficult parts, I would say, and there are a lot of shifts here. So if I go through it measure by measure and see if I can show you, I think that would be helpful to you, maybe to give you some ideas on how I would approach it. Okay, so let's go over this section of the piece. It starts off in 4th position with the 3rd finger on G. So that first shift, it's very, very difficult, and I want to propose something that's a little different and maybe implore you to try it, see how you like it, and see how it improves your shifts. But basically, anytime there's a shift, what I think about the most is this. I ask myself, what finger from the old position can I take to the new position to feel anchored? And I want to show you exactly how I'm gonna go through with this in my head. Hopefully it's clear. If not, let me know. So let's go over the same phrase again. So this note over here, F sharp, and then add an extra note. This is the note that takes me, this is the finger, second finger that takes me to the new position. So this is what I hold on to, from F sharp to E, so you see I'm adding that extra note. And then what you can do is, when you feel comfortable with the shape of your hand, the way that you're moving from one position to another, what you can do is to lessen the pressure of the bow and the finger on the fingerboard until it becomes invisible or you can't hear it anymore. So you see, that's really the trick that I use to feel secure in my shift. And I can't stress this enough because, you know, when we're moving from one position to another, we can't just rely on hearing the notes. Because for me, sometimes I feel like I'm doing that. So whenever my shifts are not controlled, I step back and really ask myself, do I know what positions I'm moving into? Do I know what the notes I'm covering from an old position to the new position? And it really helps to visualize where these notes are, so that you're not just aiming you know, out of thin air, because sometimes it can be like target practice where it's not really working, you know. And when I do feel like I'm just aiming at nothing, this method really helps me out. So let's try again. So the only way that I can do that is because I've practiced adding that extra note in. And like I said, whatever notes that you're adding in is the finger that's actually taking you into the new position. Let's go over the next few measures and see if I can demonstrate another example. So I really like your shifts here, and I've noticed, Mary, that your vibrato is improving so much. So yeah, that's another thing that I wanted to make sure that you know, because sometimes progress isn't so apparent to the person who's working at it. So yeah, so from here, from C, second finger in C. This is quite easy because it's the same finger that's taking you to the new position. Again, second finger taking you to this lower position here to the first. But now this is quite difficult because we're moving into kind of variation that I want to show you. So from here, G, instead of doing aimless practice to get to the F, what I would do is to practice shifting from G to A. When I'm on A, then I place my fourth finger here on the A string. So let me try to be more clear, because I feel like I'm being too, I don't know, wishy-washy about it. So from G, shift to A, and then place the fourth finger on F. Yeah. I don't know if you've noticed what I did there, but first I added the note A, and then I lessened my pressure and made it invisible again. So it's adding that extra note that really makes a difference, because you want to be able to feel exactly where you're being taken to. That feeling of being grounded into the new position can only happen if you have an anchor. And in this case, my anchor is the second finger from G to A, and then place that fourth finger. So now let's move on to the next few notes. Oh, by the way, after that trill, everything else is going to be played on the A string. So this is another great opportunity to get to know the A string, and I think that our fingerings are going to be a little bit different depending on what your comfort level is when in terms of using your fourth finger. For me, sometimes instead of shifting, I just try to use my fourth finger because I feel like it's a good time to practice my fourth finger vibrato. So we'll see. Three, four, five. So again here, F sharp. I'm going to ask myself, how can I feel anchored in this shift from third position to first? So I'll ask myself, where am I going to place the third finger in first position? That would be D. So I will add that extra note. Not quite into my G sharp. So that's where I don't shift, I just use my fourth. just that last two measures, I feel like your A sharp and some of the notes are not sounding quite right. So let's go over from B. B, long hold on this one. Four beats. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. So shift from first position to third. This is E. And whenever there's an open string note, I like to check it with the next note. To make sure that I'm on pitch. That's F sharp. Such a beautiful music. I could work on this forever, but I'm going to leave it here for now. I hope I made my point. If you're still struggling, make sure to send me an update and I'll see where I can help you. And yeah, thank you so much for posting your video. I hope this was helpful. Yeah, if you are willing to practice this first 19 measures on the G string and share your results, I would love to see them. So thank you, and I will see you next time.